Well, hi once again, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the 19th Hole, a podcast for golfers. I'm lucky enough to be your host, Dennis Silvers, and we really enjoy bringing you the shows every week. We get a good response, and no matter where you're looking, finding us and stuff, if you have a chance to subscribe, if you have a chance to like us and all that stuff, please do that stuff for us. We really appreciate it, and it all adds up, week after week after week. Anyway, I hope the weather is good in your part of the country. I know here in Las Vegas, every day we're breaking a new heat record. And it's hot outside, obviously, but it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. But I don't know how that still affects, when you're 114, 115 outside, it's still warm. And I know a lot of people do not like to play in that heat. As much as I love the heat, that's a little bit warm. But no matter what you're doing, you've got to stay hydrated. There's no doubt about it. And everybody likes to get out and play early when it's hot. Well, it's still at 9 o'clock in the morning here. It's still, mid 80s, 90 degrees. It's still warm, but that's what it is. It is what it is. But so we hope the weather is awesome in your part of the country. Anyway, we've got a great guest on for you. One of my favorites. He's a great guy, both on and off the golf course. He's a tremendous dog lover like I am. He's got a very interesting background, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy what he says. So, heck, without further ado, let's bring him up, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ken Green. Ken turned professional way back in 1979. I think they were still playing a lot of balls, but whatever. And he's got 11 total professional wins, 5 on the PGA Tour, 1 on the Japan Tour, and it's a big one. He won the Dunlap Phoenix, and that's a big event, and he's got 5 other wins. Ken has played on the PGA Tour starting in 1980, played a bit on the Nationwide Tour, as it was called then, and also sparingly on the Champions Tour, now known as the PGA Tour Champions. In 2009, you probably know, Ken was seriously injured when his motorhome had a blowout on the front right tire, causing the vehicle to kind of veer off the road down a steep embankment before hitting a tree. And as a result, very unfortunately, Ken had to have his lower right leg amputated, but didn't stop him. He's still playing. He's still playing damn good golf. In June 2019, Ken released a self-published book, autobiography, entitled Hunter of Hope, a life lived inside, outside, and on the ropes, and we'll talk about that. And by the way, it's a fantastic, inspirational book, one you should definitely find and have in your golf library, because it's very, very well done. Like I say, very, very inspirational, and we'll talk about that. So, Ken, welcome to the show. I know you just got off the golf course, so you're probably a little tired. I appreciate you taking the time to join us, buddy.
Oh, it's good to be back, buddy. It's every time I talk to you, I think you're getting smarter and smarter because you nailed me to a T.
I like that. I like that. Ken, now that you've had to limit your competitive play, what is the one thing you miss about not competing, say, on the PGA Tour on a regular basis?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the competition is what we all strive for. I mean, I love the game of golf. I'm gonna play golf till I die, whether I have one leg or none leg, 0 leg, so to speak. And then there's a guy like Jack Nicklaus. Once he couldn't compete, even on the Champions Tour, he basically quits golf. And
Right.
then there's the Arnold Palmer school, where he just kept playing, and the competition within yourself was
Right.
enough for him. And that's where I am. To me, it's like I have a new adventure every day because trying to figure out how to get better with this leg, is a challenge. So, you know, to me, I can only get better, even though I'm aging. Whereas most of us age and get worse. I look at it the other way around. I think I can still get better
Better.
than what I'm shooting now.
What is the
So
what is the
it's
biggest challenge you have had to face or you have had to overcome, being that you've got two legs, but one's an artificial leg. What's the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in for a
well,
bad
I
selection of
unfortunately
words in compensating
right.
your swing, Ken?
Well, I mean, I was a fader, for instance, in my day, so to speak, when I was quote normal, and now I'm basically a drawer of the golf ball, and you have to adjust your whole mindset. You know, my whole life I've looked down the left side. Now you got to look down the right side.
Right.
You know, you got to trust it when you roll your hands over. You know, but it's something that you get used to, and you know you adapt. And the one thing about the human mind and the human body is you adapt no matter what. You
Totally.
know, if a person's blind, that person figures it out. If a person's, you know, got one leg or one arm, he figures it out. You know, if you've lost your sight, you figure it out. And that's as weird as this might sound, I think that I'm relatively lucky in that I've been given a chance to understand life more with all the tragedies that have happened in my life, and yet I get to become a better person because of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I would have been if I never had any of these misfortunes.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Are you working with a coach, with an instructor?
Well, I mean, my coach has always been Peter Kostis,
Yeah.
you know, of CBS fame. Um, you know, I picked him up in 1983, and you know, I said, "Listen, Peter, here's how we're going to do this: is I'm not going to question you, I'm going to trust you, and we're just going to go with it." Because I was a field player,
Right.
and so you know, from that point on, I just trusted what he said, you know, in trying to fix the golf swing, you know, and I can honestly say that in my opinion, I think he's, you know, clearly in the top three that have ever taught the game.
We had Peter on, Ken, about a month ago. He's did a testimonial for a really good training product called Perfect Impact, and we had him on, and it was a great show. We had a lot of fun with him, and I'm sorry, Precision Impact. I meant to say, and it was terrific. And he was the one that actually bought one, reached out to the guy who invented it, great guy by the name of Mike Manley. And I said, "God, can we get Peter on the show?" And he said, "Yeah, you know, hook it up." So he gave me his number, and we connected, and we had a good time. Anyway, Ken, you know, I'm interested to get your answer on this. People say that you could learn a lot of things about the golf swing by watching tour professionals. And I agree you could learn some things, but they say you could learn a bunch of stuff that would improve your game. And I'm sorry, I disagree. I think that's a load of crap because 99% of the players can't move or do what tour players can do. Do you agree or not?
I actually do agree. I mean, in terms of the actual physical swing, you have zero chance of ever learning anything of how they swing the ball. You, if you're a halfway decent golfer, say of 8 or better, you might have a chance by watching the Champions Tour players. They're going to come closer to swinging
Right.
like you, but even they are head and tails above everybody. And
Sure, sure.
you know, short game you can learn a lot. Doesn't matter whether it's the young kids, the old kids, the ladies, you know, and that's where you're going to save your shots anyway. If you're your average Joe golfer, you're going to save shots when you learn how to chip better and pitch better, and you know, putting's always a hot or cold, but chipping can be consistent. And if people learned how to hit the ball from 80 yards and in, you're going to save a ton of shots, and that's where you can learn. But if you're really trying to learn, You got to go out and practice rounds because that's when they're going to start screwing around and goofing around with these shots.
Exactly.
And if you're especially in the Champions Tour, if you're the only one out there and you're watching a guy, chances are you can get his attention, and
Yeah.
he'll answer a question, about how you hit this shot, how you hit that shot. Whereas you can't do that on the regular tour.
No, that you're 100% right. That's a good point that you bring up. Last question before we take our first break. You started playing golf, if I remember right, in high school. Did you have somebody that you looked up to or wanted to kind of fashion your swing after?
Not really. I mean, I obviously, the Jack Nicklaus and the Palmer and the Tom Watsons were, the three guys that you always would, quote, compete against, when you were practicing and goofing around. But, I don't know if I was just not smart enough to be aware of my golf swing, to copy another player. I was just, I was self-taught. So I was just trying to figure out how to shoot lower scores.
Yeah.
Just figure out a way to shoot lower scores. And,
Yeah.
Some people like it, they go to the range all the time and all that. It doesn't do you any good because I don't mean this as poorly as it might sound, but unless somebody's watching you, it's pointless because you think you're doing X and you're doing Y. And that has nothing to do with scoring on the golf course.
I agree. I could not agree more, Ken. Well said. All right, we're going to step away. We're going to take a short break, and we come back. We're going to have a lot more with our very special guest, Mr. Ken Green. Stay with us. We're going to be back with you right after this.
Golfers at every level strive to hit the ball like a tour player, setting the club perfectly at the top, storing all the energy as they unwind and their club head approaches the ball, striking it flush at impact and staring it down as it explodes off the club towards the target. Introducing Precision Impact. Precision Impact is the single tool that will accelerate that process and get anybody striking the ball with complete command. Unlike any other product, Precision Impact is designed to keep the hands quiet and prevent the fatal flipping or scooping of the hands. This amazing product will actually reprogram your brain to keep your hands in the perfect textbook position. Precision Impact will soon have you hitting the most crisp, consistent shots of your life. As you start your backswing, you should hear several clicks as your wrist folds properly for a perfect set at the top of your swing. From there, allow your arms to fall as you aggressively rotate through the ball, knowing your Precision Impact will keep your hands and club head in the ideal position. Order now at PrecisionImpactGolf.com and never look back.
Hey golfers, I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over because I found the best ball I have ever played with, and more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55, or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at EncoreGolf.com and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to EncoreGolf.com and see for yourself. Your scorers will love you for it. That's ONCORE Golf.com. We are back as promised, and we're talking to my buddy, really good guy, good player too, Mr. Ken Green. And Ken, your first win, if memory serves me correctly, I think was in '85 at the Buick Open. And I would imagine, did that first win give you more confidence in either your swing technique, your ball striking ability, or did it give you more confidence in your mental game, in course management? Which one was it? Or maybe it was a little of both.
Well, actually, before I answer that, it was kind of funny that you had that commercial for Encore, because I actually just started playing that ball. It's I'm a firm believer that today's balls are too hard for the average golfer, and only the good players gets the advantage of them. And this Encore ball is a tad softer, so just wanted to let you know that I'm actually agree with Encore.
Oh, that's are you playing the Vero X1?
Yeah, I am playing
Yeah,
the Vero.
it's a great ball.
And it's just a little softer around the greens.
Yeah.
And it's like you have feel again versus that rock. Because basically today's ball is a rock. And it's great for people that have clubhead speed. But the average golfer doesn't have that kind of clubhead speed.
Right.
I don't have that clubhead speed anymore. And for the life of me, I don't understand why a golf company hasn't gone back to a modified version of the Balata and today's ball. Encore is closer because it's got the softness on the cover, but I still think that they would have a home run product if they catered the ball more to the average golfer than less than 1% that actually can play with conviction, so to speak,
Yeah.
and have that clubhead speed.
How did you find out about the ball, Ken?
A friend of mine, he was playing it, and I was like, well, what the hell is Encore? It's like, what is that? And he said, oh, you'll like it, try it. And I did, and then I've been playing it since, and that was about 5-6 months ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sure they will be very, very happy to hear that. And I will make sure that
Well, good. Then maybe they can send me some, because I've been actually paying for them.
If you're nice to me, I think I could get you a dozen or two.
There you go.
Oh, absolutely. You have a.
But in terms of your question, the biggest boost that I got was, because obviously, it takes years of fine tuning and trying and
Sure.
a lot of failures,
Sure.
a lot of failures. And just that I did it, that it was like, I did it. And it gives you a little calm inside that you're good enough to win. Two,
Right.
you were good enough to play under the pressure, because until you get there, you will never know how you're going to perform under the gun.
So true.
And there's, even today, there are some kids that are there a lot, but just aren't getting it done.
Right.
And it's like, how can you be that good and yet not get it done? And they'll never admit to you what's going on inside their head.
Yeah.
But I promise you, something's going on. Whether it's like X-Man has been a few years since he's won, and he's way too good.
Right.
What's going on inside that head, and that's the big mystery about professional golf, is you don't know if you have it until you're under the gun.
there. Yeah. No, that's very, very true and well said. You have a nice record, Ken, if I could throw you a compliment, as relates to your finishes in majors, with your best being, I think, a T7 in the U.S. Open. Which of the four do you think is the toughest, and why?
Well, there's no doubt it's the U.S. Open. I stunk in majors because I wasn't smart enough to stop being so aggressive. I was aggressive, and you can't play majors that way. The U.S. Open is the one that is the hardest, without a doubt, because it's set up so damn hard.
Yeah.
So it's, coming down the stretch, you say you hit it in the rough, and they, he's choking, or he's panicking or whatever, but it's that you pay the price for a mishit shot there. A British Open, Masters, PGA is close, but nowhere near as hard as the U.S. Open is. You just pay so severely. It's not that guys are choking more in majors. It's just that the penalty for a mishit shot is that much more severe.
More severe. Mm-hmm.
So the easiest tournament to win is the Masters. In my book, I've said that if you're going to eliminate a major, it should be the Masters, because it's the easiest one to win.
Interesting.
Jack loves it because he won it 6 times. It suits his game perfect. So he's never going to say, but let's face it, you have a limited field, and then there's so many guys that are in the event that have no chance of winning.
True.
And that's why there's been so many guys that have won it 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Versus, say, which I think is the hardest tournament, the Tournament Players Championship, you know, nobody's won it more than twice since it moved to sawgrass,
Right.
and only Jack won it 3 times. So it's clearly the hardest event, and how it's not considered a major is ridiculous. They're starting to head back that way. You know, in the early '80s, it was about to become a major, and then most people don't know this. There was a big falling out between Palmer, Nicklaus, and Watson and Dean Beeman. Dean Beeman started wanting to branch out with real estate and TPC golf courses, and those three had a big meeting, and then we had a big players meeting where it was basically going to get Beeman canned, and Beeman outsmarted him and came out with brochures and all the numbers, and the players changed their mind. And ever since that happened, Jack Nicklaus went from okay in it as becoming a major, and Palmer and Watson to beating it down, and it suddenly fell fast, and now it's starting to come back in the picture, and anybody with half a brain knows that's the best
Yeah.
tournament in golf.
Do you think Beeman was a good commissioner, Ken?
Well, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with Beeman. I think he's not a good person, and he's followed by Fincham, who's equally as not a good person. But they did many good things. You know, I'm not, just because I don't like them personally and they're dishonest souls, I'm not going to sit here and not give them credit for building the game up.
Right.
And
Right.
Beeman did do a good job in that respect.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Ken, what's the biggest thing, and you still do and have played with a ton of amateurs, what's the biggest thing in your opinion that keeps amateurs, weekend players, from getting significantly better?
Well, one, that they don't know how to concentrate. They don't know how to turn it on and turn it off. And too many times they're hitting shots without even being there, if that makes sense. You know, they're over the ball and they swing, and they're still thinking about, you know, the fight with the wife, or the dog with the dump on the toilet, and the rug, whatever. And tour players are so good at having a conversation with you and then turning around and getting over the ball and focusing. And that's something that can be learned.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a special skill to do that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is they just haven't learned how to score. They keep trying to hit shots they shouldn't try to hit.
Right.
I tell my friends all the time, hit the same shot every damn time. Whatever that shot is, if it's a low draw, hit the damn low draw. You're not good enough to start maneuvering the ball and try to hit it easy, try to hit it hard.
Right.
That's hard to do. The best players on the planet have a hard time doing it.
Yes.
Why do you think you can do it when, one, you don't have the skill level they do, and you don't practice?
Right.
So it's stick with the shot you have, and then the other is learn how to score mentally, because it's all upstairs.
It is all up there. Let me ask you this, and then we'll take another quick break and come back and finish up with you. Can you be a good player without having a good mental game? I know people that have beautiful swings, that are good ball strikers, but as far as mental game, as far as course management and stuff, I mean, they suck, but yet they're still good players. Can you kick it up to the next level without one or the other, or do you have to have both, Ken?
I don't think you have to have both, but you have to have the mental game. You can look, Corey Pavin on the driving range, you'd swear that you could beat him, but he knew how to get it around.
Yeah.
And then you got other, and I'll use Tom Percher. His swing was flawless. I mean, that guy should have won so many more events.
Beautiful swing.
But something was just clicking upstairs. And you could say the same thing about Greg Norman. That guy should have won twice the events he won. He didn't reach his potential at all.
Yeah.
So I think you can teach mental side to a point, and then once it gets to the tour level, You either have it or you don't.
Or you don't. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. All right, stay with us, Ken. We're going to take a short break, and like I say, when we come back, we'll finish up with our very special guest, Ken Green. So don't move, don't go away. We're back with you right after this.
One of the buzzwords happening in golf is the word lag. You hear it all the time, but what is it, and how do I get it? Lag simply is the loading of the club to help produce tons of power in your golf swing. Up until now, getting lag into your swing has been very hard. Introducing the lag shot, a brand new proven training aid being praised by some of the leading PGA Tour instructors across the globe. This practice aid trains your hands, arms and body how to make a powerful, efficient golf swing with an amazing amount of lag. Lag shot is a 7-iron length club with the same loft and lie with a whippy, flexible blue shaft and a beautiful jet black club head. After you master the lag shot, your game will change forever with a stress-free swing, more power and more distance with lower scores every time you play. Go to lagshotgolf.com and you'll see why this truly is becoming the #1 training aid in golf. Visit lagshotgolf.com. As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
All right, we are back, everybody, with more of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. Having a great show with a great guy, Mr. Ken Green, who is a PGA Tour player. He's a winner. He's a whole lot of good things. Before I forget, Ken, tell us about your book, where people can get it, because I really think if you don't have it in your golf library, you should. And how the book came about.
It's just kengreengolf.com. And I tell people, from what I've been told, it hits every emotion because my life has been so wild. And, it's been a great run, and it's been a sad run, and great golf stories. And it's, everything I make goes to dogs. So I don't make a dime off of it. And I've told people if they don't like the book, I'll be more than happy to give them their money back.
That's well, you can't do any better than that, folks. KenGreen.com, look it up, get the book. Like I say, it's very inspirational. It's about his son and about his dog and his fiance who tragically lost their lives in the accident that
Don't
caused.
forget those great stories in the Masters.
Yeah, and to get those great stories in the Masters. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, no, we don't have anybody in my trunk. What are you talking about? You think I would sneak anybody in? No way. How much faith do you put in people getting fitted for clubs? It's timely and it's expensive. So, I mean, what's the bottom line on it, Ken? You think it's really worth it for most people?
For most, no. Sadly, I hate to tell you this, but I mean, obviously, as long as the clubs aren't way off, what you have is probably okay, or whether it's the lie or the shaft, because your swing is different every day. One day you go into there and get it fitted, and it works out to have these kind of specs. And then you go a week later and you get totally different specs because amateur swing varies from day to day so dramatically.
True.
And, so as long as you're not too far off, I think it's kind of a crock. I think it's just a way of selling clubs.
Is that your belief in most of the training aids, which is my personal belief? There are a few that I think are great, but as far as training aids overall, golf training aids, what's your opinion?
I mean, again, I lean towards you. Some of them are really good, but the majority of them, again, aren't going to do you any good because you just don't put the time and effort into it anyway. You'll do it. You buy the product, and for the first week, you're using it and you're doing it, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, a week goes by, and 2 weeks go by,
Yeah.
a month goes by, and next thing you know, it's in the closet, and you've forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Unless you're really dedicated, those aren't gonna do you any good.
Yeah.
You're better off fixing your brain upstairs.
Yeah.
Before any of that stuff helps.
If you can. But I'll tell you one good, not because they're a sponsor of this lag shot, and you saw the commercial spot on it, is easy to use. You get great feedback. It's simplistic, but yet, this hubbub, everybody's, the lag and the whole deal. This really is a super product. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there, as is all of the stuff that we advertise on the show.
No, there's some really good ones out there. There's no doubt. And again, see, this is it's like going to getting fitted. Each golfer is so different. One aid might be, awful for him, and another aid might work.
Right, exactly.
And so unless you find the right one because of your particular swing flaws,
exactly,
it may not do you any good.
That's exactly right. All right, before I let you go, what's on tap for Ken Green in the future? Are we going to see you playing some events? What's going on with you?
I'm about to have a major surgery, July 7th. I suffer from all the nerve damage and the pain.
Yeah.
Where it's called an osseointegration, and I'm actually going to be sticking some rods in my bone. We're going to get rid of the socket, which will hopefully take off a lot of the pressure on the stump that affects the nerves. And then we're also going to take all the nerves and stitch them together and give them a new job to do instead of, causing me so much pain. So on paper, this should work because, it's been 12 years now of some pretty awful days, and it's getting a little tough to deal with. But on the good side, now that these rods are made in Australia. It's the only place they're made, because they're handmade to your bone. So now that I'm going to have some Aussie DNA in me, I'm going to be able to become a dual citizen because as our country explodes and goes to hell, I'm going to retire in Australia. And they got rock hard fairways. I'll hit it farther, and I'll have a great 10 years.
Yeah, they do have a lot of great golf courses, and I didn't know that about Australia, but probably after you have it done, you're going to be hopping around like a kangaroo or something without the pain.
I'm honestly, the rod itself, not having the socket, is going to help my wedges and my pitching, and I should gain at least 10 yards.
Where is the surgery being done, Ken?
New York City, the Hospital for Special Surgeries and Whack Jobs, and I fit the bill.
That's great. That is great. Well, we wish you obviously all the best with it. I know it's going to go great. I know you're going to be fantastic when you come out. I appreciate the time. Like I say, you just finished playing golf, and I appreciate the time that you gave us, and we love having you on, and of course, we're going to have you back sooner than later. Ken, I appreciate it.
My pleasure, buddy. Be good.
You too. You too. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Ken Green, everybody, just a terrific guy, as you saw. All right, we're going to step away, take another break. We're going to bring you our game improvement tip by Adam Bazalgett from Scratch Golf Academy, who's just a tremendous teacher and always has given us good advice. So take a look at this, and we're going to be back to close out the show.
Hi, Adam Bazalgette here at beautiful Mediterra, Naples, Florida. I'm the founder of Scratch Golf Academy, and I wanted to talk to you today about how to avoid hitting the ground behind the ball. It's a thing a lot of people battle. There can be a number of circumstances involved in it, but let's focus on the two major elements and see if these give you a little bit of insight and help you progress in this area. Number one, weight too far back. Now, we certainly don't advocate getting your head in front of the golf ball as you hit it, but I can assure you, great players, when they hit irons, if you drew a line up from the ball, that ball's more in line with their right hip than it is with their left hip. You really need to be on your left side. That is such an important thing in terms of hitting the ground further over to the left. And the second thing, and you can have a combination of these things certainly, is the tendency to straighten the wrists too early. What that does is it widens the swing arc, and prematurely the club reaches the ground back here. If my right wrist is bent, the club would never actually reach the ground. That narrows the circumference of my swing. So any combination you can get where your weight is further to the left, again, head would be fairly stationary and centered, and that your wrists are more cocked later in the downswing, this is going to give you clearance from the ground and make you hit the ground more over there. I've got all sorts of videos and techniques as to how to work on these things, but let me give you one simple drill that I think at least might get you started and help you. Line up a few golf balls there, like so, and pretend the line extends a little bit. This is an 8-iron. I'm just making a small swing here, and go ahead and preset your hips and your weight to the left. Again, my head's about centered. I feel most of my weight to the left. And practice releasing your wrists so that the club goes down on the front side of the ball. And I say that because I don't think it's that effective to just try to hold your wrist angle. I think you want to time the release or the snap of the wrist in a different place. I find most people have more success with that. So weight forward, practice hitting the ground more over to the left. And when you've gotten a little feel for that, just set up to the golf ball, weight forward, and just hit some little shots on that scale, and you can see I was able to hit the ground in front of the ball. Critical for good iron play.
When it comes to golf, I'm a man of few words, as you'll see. Looking for out-of-this-world technology in your golf ball? Encore Golf. Looking for exceptional performance and durability? Encore Golf. Looking for the best performing ball for the price? Encore Golf. Check them out at Encore Golf. That's ONCORE golf.com. Your scores will thank you.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new tour ball from Encore.
Well, that's about it. We're going to wrap it up for this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. Been your host, Dennis Silvers. Great show with Ken Green. We wish him luck with his upcoming surgery. I know he's gonna do well with it and get back out there and beat it around. The man could still play even with one leg. Very eerie, kind of very similar to what happened recently to Tiger Woods. You know, of course, veering off the road, down a steep embankment, hitting a tree and that type of thing. But Ken was in his RV that he used to go around, drive to different tournaments. So, yeah, a little bit eerie in that sense. We're working on bringing you in the future, very close, a couple of very, very good guests that we're going to have on. Don Logan, the president of the Las Vegas Aviators, pretty soon. And keep your fingers crossed, I'll know very soon, working really hard on it to bring you Brooks Koepka on the show, which would just be terrific. So until then, we wish you nothing but fairways and greens. Get out and play, everybody, and enjoy the weather outside, summertime if you can, and we're going to see you same place, same time next week for another show. So long.